This is probably my favorite video in this set of videos because it talks about the why behind for multiplying fractions in general. Now let's use the knowledge we learned from the previous video about specific cases, and let's now apply that for this slide. 3/8 times 5/7. Now based on the previous video, we know that 3/8 is equal to 3 times 1/8 and 5/7 is equal to 5 times 1/7. Now based on the commutative property of multiplication and associative property of multiplication, now I'll explain why those are the case in previous sets of videos, and hopefully the links for those previous set of videos are in the description of this video. But anyway, because of those properties, it does not matter in which order we multiply in real numbers. And so this is equal to 3 times 5 times 1/8 times 1/7. Now 3 times 5 is equal to 15. And now we know from the previous video that 1/8 times 1/7 is equal to 156. Now we know from the previous video that 15 times 156 is equal to 1556. And so we know that this idea of multiplying fractions where we multiply both the numerators and the denominators works in general. 3 times 5 is equal to 15 and 8 times 7 is equal to 56. Now we could have used the pattern in the previous slide, but used variables instead to show this idea of multiplying fractions works for whatever case you may come across. Here A is any real number, B is any real number but 0, C is any real number, and D is any real number but 0. Let's now talk about each step of what we just did, but let's now use a visual so we can visualize the why behind for multiplying fractions. 5/7 of the circle is marked in pink. Now I have empty circles next to it. We're just having empty circles, so we're not adding anything to the value. Now I just spread across the pink, and so we have 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7 plus 1/7. We have 5 1/7 being added together. That is repeating addition, the definition of multiplication, and that is 5 times 1/7. Now we have 3 times everything. So how many circles do we have now? We have 5 plus 5 plus 5 circles, or 3 times 5 circles, which is equal to 15. Now for each region, I marked 1/8 of it in yellow. Each region is 1/7 of the whole circle, and we're marking 1/8 of that region. Now let's continue similar markings across the whole circle, and we find out that 156 of each circle is marked in yellow. Now let's combine all the yellow together, and we find out that 1556 of the circle is marked in yellow. And so we find out that this idea of multiplying fractions where we multiply both the numerators and denominators works. 3 times 5 is equal to 15, and 8 times 7 is equal to 56. Thank you for making it this far. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you for watching this video about the in general. Here's the link to the playlist about multiplying fractions, in which this video and the previous video about specific cases are a part of. Feel free to click on this link.